Hey friends, happy Sunday. Oh, there's a bluebird out there. Beautiful. It is so cold today. It was so warm yesterday. I don't know what the temperature was, but it was sunny. It was warm. I went for a run. I wore a tank top. I probably got some sun. I got a little bit, like not ultra sweaty, like summertime sweaty, but a little glistening. Today, I don't think it's going to, but there's a chance of snow. It's raining. It is so cold. It's in the 40s, the low 40s. That's a big difference, isn't it? So anyway, I'm freezing right now. I wish I had that blanket wrapped around me, to be honest, and a cup of warm, awesome coffee. But that was way earlier this morning was my coffee. So anyway, January 18th. Perfect is the title. Perfect. And remember, we're in the Song of Songs, still the very first few verses, and we're looking at how the Shulamite, aka us, how we see ourselves, and then how Jesus responds to her, how he responds to us. We see the flaws, he sees the beauty, the perfection, the loveliness, all of that. So we're still kind of walking through that little section. It's so good if we can grasp just how true this all is for our own relationship with him and our own identity too. If we start to see ourselves truly the way God does, the way Jesus does, the way the Holy Spirit does, everything changes for the better. All right, the Shulamite says to her friends, "Please don't stare in scorn because of my dark and sinful ways." And that is Song of Songs 1:6. Our identity in Jesus, who he says we are, keep that in mind. Our identity is who he says we are. Isn't always easy to accept because it may feel not accurate. The good news is he understands our doubt and enjoys reminding us who we are in him. I love that. He enjoys reminding me every single morning and throughout the day who I am in him, the way he sees me, the real me. Because the more familiar we get with that, the more we believe it, the more it becomes true, the more we really start to embody it and live it out. Y'all, we live out what we believe. So we can say one thing or think that we think a certain way, but our actions demonstrate what we actually believe on like a core heart level. It's a really interesting thing for me to coach people around. And as a nurse, just to see why so many people end up sick in the hospital, in surgery. I worked in surgery for like 15 years. It was cool, but it didn't help anybody get actually better of chronic things. I know so much more now that I'm not in that type of nursing role. I do nurse coaching now, and so I really get to like peel back the layers in conversation with people of what's going on. What do you believe? What are your actions? What is all of this demonstrating about you? Things that you believe that you may not even realize you believe. It's really interesting, but my goodness, is it ever life-changing? So I love that when we let him, he reminds us, he reminds me every day who I am in him, how he sees me, how he created me. I don't get messed up in the lies that have come in along the way, the little subtle things that didn't seem like much at the time or maybe came in almost undetectably, and then they got lodged in and started living out of those false identities and lies and things. From the moment we said yes to his invitation to divine romance, he placed a crown on our heads and knew it would take us time to grow into it. But how cool that he does it in that order. He goes ahead. Yeah. He goes ahead and puts the crown on us to like say, this is you. This is the real you. And now I'm going to let you mature into it. I love that he does it that way. Because it lets us know what's real, who we actually are. Even if the crown doesn't fit, he's like, this is the real you. I'm going to let you grow into it. I'm going to help you. We see the darkness of our own souls more clearly than anyone else. It seems almost impossible that we could be the beautiful creatures Jesus says we are, let alone be worthy of the King's love. Yet this is where deity and humanity merge. Perfection poured into vessels of imperfection, making them equally perfect. That is so out there for some of us to wrap our heads around, but just think about that. We are imperfect vessels. That doesn't scare God. He's not upset about that. I mean, I'm sure that he wishes that things in the garden hadn't gone the way they did so that we would be perfect vessels, but you know, he knows this has been happening for thousands of years. He knows. He made us anyway. And he poured himself into us anyway. And he gives us reminders after reminders after reminders and help and this and that as we go through our life to allow, I feel like there's a hair tickle in my hand, to allow his deity to marry and coexist, cohabitate, whatever, inside of our humanness. So imperfection mixed with perfection. So we are equally perfect. Once you embrace the truth of who you are, you won't strive to prove it anymore. Y'all, that is one of the biggest things that shifted for me. Once I realized who I actually was, I wasn't trying to prove it to anybody. I was like, I know who I am. And if I know who I am, that's all that matters. Because the thing is, before you realize who you are, before you know your identity and embrace it, you're actually just trying to prove it to yourself. You do it through proving it to others. And that may even come across kind of subtly to some of you. But in your trying to prove it to others, you're actually just trying to prove it to yourself when you've been you all along. And so once you realize who you are, you stop trying to prove it. You just are. And it's amazing and it's freeing and you can just live. And you will make a much bigger kingdom difference to you and to everybody if you're just you. If you're not trying to prove anything, you're just you. You know, it's so attractive to just be you. And it's so easy. Like it comes from a place of ease, of rest, of peace, because you just are. You're just being who God made you to be. It's so freeing. You will be at peace with who you are, yes, like I just said, and happy with how he made you. I love that. There's no more striving, no more proving, no more doubt, no more nothing. You're just like, oh, I am who he made me to be, and I love it. He made me exactly the way he did. For many reasons, I may not understand them, but I don't have to try to be someone different. I can just be me and then go on this journey, this adventure with him of learning who I am. Okay, God, you made me this way. Tell me why. I'm curious. What is that going to help me accomplish? How is that going to help me be a kingdom bringer, you know, here? If we were all the same, ooh, how boring, right? All right, so here is our prayer. Jesus, you're so good to me, so patient and kind. No matter how many times I mess up, you just keep reminding me who I am and who you've created me to be. I choose to see myself the way that you see me, cherished and loved. When I'm confronted by the darkness inside my soul, flood me with the light of your glory. Transform me into the beautiful bride you've called me to be. Yes, men, that means you too. Your mercy and grace amaze me. All right. I hope that one planted some seeds in you that you may have never known before, may have never thought to think about. Maybe it's even opposite of what you normally think about. I don't know. But I hope it's starting to at least get things a little bit deeper, uncover some things, open your eyes to some things, make you curious of some things, to start this transformation. Start seeing you the way he sees you. And this journey is going to go way, way deep. But this is just getting us started good. So I hope this did something to your mind and your heart today. And if there's somebody you know that would need this, please tag them in this video. If you want to share the video, you're welcome to do that as well. And I will see y'all tomorrow.